Hello, welcome to our channel. My name is Julie, and with the help of my husband Justin, we are full-time resellers. So we've been doing this for about 3.5 years, and it's how we fully support our family of 3. And some months are definitely better than others. This was a so-so month. I mean, we made enough to pay the bills. There wasn't much left over after that. This is why I preach to have lots of money in savings if you go full-time. But I'm going to give you an outline of the month. I'm going to tell you how much we listed, how much we sold, give you some samples of some items that we sold, and tell you exactly what our profit was, what all the fees were, and everything. I'm going to completely break it down for you. All right, so we're talking about January of 2024. So I went hard with listing this month. I was trying to combat the fact that it was so slow, especially the beginning of the month. We did pick up towards the end of the month, but the beginning of the month was so slow. So I was like, I'm going to list really heavily. So we listed 508 items, which is a lot for us to list in a month. We don't normally list that many. We only sold 308 items though, which is kind of low. 270 of those were on eBay and 38 were on Poshmark. So, our total sales, I'll give you all the details at the end, but I'll just tell you our total sales all in, meaning before eBay takes out for shipping labels, before they take out for all their fees, you know, all of that stuff on eBay and Poshmark, our total sold amount was just short of $9,000, just to give you an idea before I jump into some of the numbers. But, at the end, I'll give you a complete breakdown of everything. So now, how about I give you a sample of some of the things we sold this month? I tried to pick like a variety of items. These aren't necessarily like the highest priced items, but just weird, different items. You guys know I sell tons of clothes, and I did a clearance this month. So I sold a bunch of clothes that I made like $5 to like $7 profits on and stuff. So I'm not going to bore you with those, unless you want to know what not to buy. But I'm going to give you just a weird sample. So the first thing that sold, Justin and I got this, I guess, would have been last Friday. So like by the time you see this, a little over a week ago, these Geritol vitamins. I'll put a picture up there at the bins. The most important things when you're selling anything like this, like health and beauty aids, that kind of thing, is if there is an expiration date on it, you cannot list it if it's expired. You will get your account suspended. So we checked the dates. They were good on these. They were good, I think, for like another 4 months. So Justin actually listed these himself, and I said price competitively because we don't want it sticking around. They ended up selling for $19.79, and we paid $1.27 by weight at the bins. Our bins cost $1.69 per pound per item. So, I mean, literally, he snapped 3 pictures, like, to ship it. I threw it in a bag, like in, you know, like a clear plastic bag, and then in a box. So easy. I showed this, I do believe, in one of my videos. Inis, I guess, INIS Crafts. It's an Ireland wool poncho sweater. It sold pretty quickly for $48, and we paid $3.06 for it at the bins. So anything you find that's 100% wool, look it up, because normally it's a good bet. Just pay attention to it. Like, if it looks like it's a size small sweater and you read the tag and it says it's a large, someone put it in the dryer. Do not bother buying it. I don't know if you can restretch it out. Maybe you know a trick to do that. I personally don't know one, so I just stay away from them if they obviously have been shrunk. I pulled this one. You'll see the picture there. GBX boots. GBX is kind of a cheap brand. I know they kind of, back in the day, I remember when Justin was working in restaurants. We both went to culinary school for pastry arts, and he was a pastry chef in a restaurant. He always wore GBX shoes because they were cheaper than buying the black Skechers that people wore in kitchens. But we found these GBX boots on 99-cent day, and they were like motorcycle, like with the harness, you can see in the picture. So I looked them up because they were kind of different. And sure enough, we ended up selling them for $32.29. And as I said, we paid 99 cents. So I wouldn't discount all GBX if, you know, they're a more interesting style. This was a gooder. This was a gooder sale. I have very gooder English today. Adidas Samba, they were just called Simple Brown was the color. I could not find much listed or sold on it. It actually ended up having to go through eBay's authenticity program, which kind of was ridiculous to me because they just weren't that high priced of a shoe. They ended up selling for $65 and they passed, might I add. I got a notification 2 days ago saying they passed. And then, so I don't know if you've never had an item go through the authenticity. Is that how authenticity program? Yeah, I guess so. Wow. So when the buyer purchases it, you actually ship it to eBay. Like they have all different hubs all over the United States. I think this one went to New Jersey. So they force you to ship it FedEx, which is annoying because I don't have a FedEx super close to my house. I have a post office and a UPS, but so you ship it FedEx to them. Then once it passes, you'll get like a notice and then they repackage it and ship it off to the buyer. So they sell for $65. We paid $2.75 by weight at the bins. These cool zebras, I couldn't find too much on them. Everybody that listed them did say like they were mid-century modern. They just were black and gold ceramic zebras. We got them completely for free in that church sale clean out that we did, and they sold for $30. This Anthropologie rattan circle purse, I love this purse. I actually featured it. I have a second Instagram account. I have my main account, which is Mrs. Frugal Trash to Cash. But then I have one for Julie's Hunted Treasures for my eBay store. I try every couple days to like do like a spotlight item and show it. And this was one of my items last week, but I have no idea if it sold because of that or if it just sold on its own. They didn't leave like a message saying they saw it on Instagram, so I don't know. But this purse was adorable. Like it had like a checkered print inside that looked like a picnic basket. I got it at the bins. I only paid 92 cents for it and ended up selling for $33.09. So if you see like a purse that looks interesting, definitely look it up. There was no markings of this purse. I had no idea it was an Anthropologie purse. I just saw a cool looking purse and I used Google Lens to like research it and then realized it was an Anthropologie purse. All right. Where do you see this crazy thing right here? So this 7-Up stretched bottle, I'm trying to think when it was, I think it might have had a date on it. It was either the late 70s or early 80s. I can't remember. I guess this one was, I can't remember if this one said sugar-free or diet. I have two of them. One's still for sale. One was 7-Up sugar-free and one said 7-Up diet. But yeah, they're these crazy stretched bottles. When I did research on them, people use like amusement park, carnival, like in the title. So I'm wondering if they sold them at amusement parks and carnivals. I don't know. I got it for free and a bunch of stuff from my neighbor. And it sold for $34.99. And when I got it, it actually still had liquid in it, but it was leaking. So it actually had a cork in it, like a wooden cork that was just like falling apart. So I actually scooped the cork out, drained the liquid out of it, and then listed it. All right. Bras. I love selling bras. Normally, Victoria's Secret and Cacique are the two kinds that I sell the most, but Justin found this Soma bra that was new with tags. 40 cents at the bins, sold pretty quickly for $21.59. So definitely keep your eye out for bras, especially new with tags bras or large bras. These Libby glasses, I don't pick up glassware at all, but I got these free from a neighbor. And when I Google Lens this like amber brown glass, they seem to sell decently. So I actually sold, I had 10 of them total. So I sold 4 of them beginning of December. And then this was 6 of them were listed and I had nothing into them. Someone sent me an offer for $28.49 and I accepted. I I know people get worried about shipping glass. I just wrapped each glass in one sheet of bubble wrap, put them in a box where they fit extremely tight together, but I still put a piece of I made like a cardboard grid so that each glass like was in its own little section. And then I taped that box up, and then what I call floated it in a bigger box. So either you can just pack paper all around it, so it's floating in the middle. You can use peanuts, you can use pillow packs, but that way it's protected. It did not take me long to pack it up at all. All right, this Lady Edso, I guess, EDSO nightgown was so gorgeous. It was a vintage nightgown. I love vintage nightgowns. I only paid 55 cents for it at the bins, and it sold for $33.24. So definitely keep your eye out for any kind of like vintage looking nightwear, slips, things like that. Just always check for the slips, especially the waistband, because a lot of times you'll pull the waistband and it goes crunch, and then it stays large because the elastic is shot in it. These vintage calico critters, I have sold so many. What is it? Calico Critters, Sullivan family, they go by different names. But I have sold so many over the years. But these ones actually had the stickers on the bottom that said they were from 1985. So they were the vintage original ones. Justin just found a bunch. Like, we did a bin change, and I saw him like digging under all the stuff. They were just like thrown in the bottom of a bin. So they only cost us 85 cents, and they sold like instantaneously, so I might have undersold them, but that's okay, for $24.99. So definitely a quick flip on vintage. It was just the animals, like not accessories or anything. And they weren't in the best shape either. I mean, some were naked, some like were missing fur and spots and like a little dirty, but they sold quick. I am a fan of Ralph Lauren. I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't pick it up, but I do well with like their dresses and just more interesting pieces. So when I found these new with tags pants at the thrift store, they were, a larger size, and you'll see in the picture, I don't know how well, it almost looked like blueprints, but it was like sailboats. So I find that when Ralph Lauren has like a nautical theme to it, it does even better. So I got them for 99 cents. They sold pretty quickly for $25. This is just shout out if you see this shirt, R5 Louder. It's a band apparently. When Brooklyn was little, she watched a show called Austin and Ally, and apparently Ross Lynch played Austin, and this is his band, I guess. But I found this shirt. I think it was from, you can see on the thing, was it 2014, 2015? Something around there. I don't know. But I found the tour shirt at the bins, and I decided to look it up. I only paid 70 cents for it, and it sold for $23.74, and it sold really quickly. So that's apparently band to keep your eye out on. All right. Check out this cool lamp I got. This was another free item from my neighbor. You know what I say all the time. Tell people what you do. They would much rather just drop their donations off at your house than drag them to the thrift store. Then you dig through them, and what you don't want, you drag to the thrift store, which in our case, and if you're a reseller, I'm sure it's the same for you, you're at thrift stores quite frequently anyway. So, but she gave us this lamp, and it's like a Scottish drunk man was like the keywords everybody used on it. But, it had the glass bar, said bar on it, glass, what is that called? Glass ball? Glass globe. Globe, that's the word. Glass globe at the top. It's in excellent condition. It sold for $37.99, which I was really glad because there was a bunch listed and for around that price. So I was glad mine sold. So for packing it, I just packed the globe in its own box and then wrapped, the lamp in bubble wrap and put them both in like one bigger box together just to, give the globe extra protection. All right, I want to talk about wool coats. I find, oh gosh, sorry, I was sitting on my leg the whole time. Ooh. I find wool coats on 99-cent day, at our Goodwill and Salvation Army all the time. They're like, like the wool pea coats, different brands, but it seems like as long as it's a semi-decent brand, you can at least get $20 to $25. Like, I've sold like Calvin Klein ones, trying to think, a bunch of vintage brands, but this one is a JFJ I guess is how you say it. You'll see it on the screen. This was a men's wool coat that I grabbed, as I said, 99-cent day, and it sold for $31.50. I think people just like overlook them. A lot of times, you know, they have pet hair stuck to them and you got to give them a good roll down and stuff. But I find, you know, that like I sold one earlier this year, I think for 60, or late last year, I guess it is, for like 60 some dollars. I've sold tons in the 20s, you know, whether they're women's, whether they're men's. So definitely look, if you find like a wool pea coat for cheap, look it up and see if it's worth getting. Vintage blown glass. Oh, churches. Sorry, I was reading my own writing. I thought it said chuckles, and I was like, what? I grabbed these ornaments at the bins. We only paid 32 cents by weight for them. You could tell they were vintage. They actually, on the metal like top piece, it said Germany, I do believe, on these ones. But they were just sweet little ornaments. Very easy to ship. I just put each ornament in its own separate tiny little box with bubble wrap, and then I put it just in a slightly larger box. They sold for $20 really quickly. So 32 cents into $20, I'll take it. This Downfill Throw also was a great find, sold really quickly. It was like new open package, we'll say. It still had like the thing you'll see in the picture, like it has a strap going around it, but it was no longer like connected to the straps. Like they had cut off like the plastic connectors and stuff, but it looked brand new. I found it at the Salvation Army on 99-cent day. And I read it, like I felt it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I read on it that it said it was down-filled. Sold for $29.99 really fast. So, you know, linens, definitely. I know people talk about that there is a lot of money in the linen sections. I admit I don't shop at them that much. I always look, but I go to other sections first, and there are a few people that always on 99-cent day run to the linen section. So I guess I get the leftovers. That's okay. This Snap-on die-cast little car, new in box, only paid 41 cents the bins. Justin found it in a bin that everybody had already gone through. Sold for $26 really quickly. These Birdwell beach breeches, frog skin tack shorts. We paid up for these. Justin came over and showed me them when we were at the regular Goodwill on 99-cent day, but these weren't 99 cents. They were full price. They were $8. But he was like, the comps on these look really good. So sure enough, they sold for $39 internationally. The person ended up paying almost $70 all in to get these shorts shipped to them. So definitely look for the Birdwell beach breeches, frogskin shorts. This Loungefly purse, I'm sure you guys are, you know that Loungefly is good. Most of the time you see it in backpacks, but this was an actual purse. It looked like Minnie Mouse's ears. I majorly paid up for this at a garage sale. I paid $23 and I had it listed forever. So finally, when someone sent me a $60 offer, I took it. I ended up being able to ship it for cheaper than I thought I was going to. So when all said and done, I think I made a $25 profit on it. So not too bad. I talked about in my last video when someone asked me like what was my favorite clothing item to pick up. I talked about Arrot fire resistant, and I'll talk about it twice in here. These Arrot fire resistant jeans I found at the bins, and we paid $3.58 by weight because they were kind of heavy. They sold super quick for $35. I probably could have held out and got more, but you know me, fast nickel instead of a slow dime. I'm only going to show one weights this time because he sold so many weights because it was January. But these were interesting ones. We were at the bins and they were all in like this case, this set of weights. And they wanted 20 something, or maybe it was 20 for it. I don't know. He opened it up and it was missing a bunch of pieces. So he took it to the cashier and he talked to her, and she called in the back and, you know, said, oh, he's a regular here. So they gave it to him for only $10. So in there were 6 5-pound and 6 2.5-pound chrome York weight plates. And they ended up selling for $127.49. So that was a great $10 flip. This Monterey Fashions faux leopard coat was another free item from a neighbor, and it sold for $45. It had just so many likes. I had so many questions about it, so many offers. So I have another one listed. It might be the same brand. It was very similar, but it was all solid black. But I think what made this one be so popular was leopard. So yeah, you see, a faux vintage leopard coat out. Definitely give it a look over and see if it's worth it. This quilt, I briefly showed it in another video, but this was like my first time picking up a quilt. A rural squirrel. Yes, I have a very hard time saying that. She's on YouTube and Instagram. She's an awesome reseller and just an amazing lady. She sells quilts all the time. So I even messaged her about this one, but it was a twin size quilt that I picked up at the bins. It was actually dated 1992. The woman that made it hand put a signature on it and embroidered the date on it, but it was only a twin size. So I ended up getting $60 for it. By weight, I paid $6.76. So that was pretty good. This lot of vintage ornaments, I also talked about in another video, but I just wanted to go over it again, like the mercury glass, the vintage ornaments. I mean, I sold this lot for $50. I had nothing into it because they came to me free from the neighbor. What I guess would be my personal biggest sale of the month was a lot of the Angelina Ballerina furniture. We bought a huge lot of it for $10 at a church sale. I ended up getting I think 10 listings roughly out of it, somewhere around there. And it sold for $100 for this grouping. So, I had a dollar or two into it and sold for $100. Justin got these Rothys camo point toe shoes at the bins. Anytime we find Rothys at the bins, we are so excited. They've definitely fallen in value, but I think this one, being a cool print, helped it sell. It ended up selling on Poshmark for $55, and we only paid $1.27 by weight. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the Arrot fire-resistant shirt. I had talked about the jeans. The fire-resistant shirt sold on Poshmark for $38, and we paid $1.95 at the bins. But yes, definitely if you see something that says FR on it for fire resistant, look it up. Arrot is by far the best that I've ever found, but I think Carhartt has a fire resistant line too, and I'm sure there are many others out there. So definitely give it a look over. All right, now down to the numbers. So just for fun, I decided to add up our profits this month on 99-cent items. So if you're new to watching me, I have 3 thrift stores around me that have a 99-cent day. So the items initially are 50% off, and then they go to 99 cents on a certain day of the week. So we go and shop there all the time. We normally get items that we hope to flip for a minimum of a $10 profit. But sometimes we find things for way more than that. So I looked up to see how much profit we made on 99-cent items that we sold this month. And we made $1,376.20 profit on 99-cent items. We made a $527.78 profit on things that we got for free, meaning, things that, in this case, it was almost all neighbors, because my neighbors all know what I do, and they literally just put boxes in front of my garage of stuff. So that was cool. But let's do a full breakdown of the month. So I'll put the numbers up on the screen. For income, we sold, and let me preface this, these first initial numbers are before shipping labels, fees, cost of goods, all of that. So that's why they're so impressive. But really, they're not that impressive. They're, as I said at the beginning, barely $9,000, and I've had months on eBay where I've sold $12,000. So not that impressive. But so eBay was $8,136.64, and Poshmark was $858. So our total income brought in was $8,994.74. We have to subtract $384.55 from that number for canceled orders, shipping discounts, and returns. So anytime someone buys something and then sends you a message and it's like, I didn't mean to buy this, or I forgot to click the coupon or something, any reason that you cancel or for cancel for not payment, that then gets resubtracted out from your number. Anytime you give like a shipping discount. So if someone buys a bunch of stuff and I say, okay, I'll, refund you the difference of, say they paid $20 in shipping and when I figured it out it was $11, I'll send you a $9 refund. Or if someone returns something to me, and I will then resell the item so I don't lose any money on it, but that money needs resubtracted from the title. So that's the $384.55. So that takes us down to $88,610.19. All right, so for the month, the fees, we paid $2,022.75 in shipping labels, but really the buyers paid for that. The money was never mine. Like I set my price for the items and then I use calculated shipping. So, but eBay includes that in the original number, so we have to subtract it. Next, I spent $43.10 on shipping supplies. So, or office supplies. I think I bought ink for my regular computer. I mean, I use a thermal printer for most of my stuff, but I print out a pick list and a scan list. So I think I bought ink, and it might be a thing of poly bags, but it would include bubble wrap if I had bought that kind of thing. But I spent $43.10 this month on it. Listing fees, so the percentage that eBay and Poshmark take out, cost us $1,508.88. And then my internet and like my software for accounting, and I think it's my Amazon subscription, that total was $135.12 a month. So that takes us to a $4,934 profit. Then for the month, we spent For the month, we spent $696.83 on cost of goods, meaning things that we purchased to sell. Most of these items probably aren't sold yet because, some of them just came in the last few days. Some aren't even listed yet. Some are listed but haven't sold. But that money went back out again buying new product. So before taxes, for the month, we made $4,206.51. So not the greatest month, not the worst month. As I said, that more than covers our bills. We have, no debt except for our mortgage, and our mortgage is very low, and we just are very frugal, and hence the name, and we just don't spend that much in a month. But I would prefer to make more than this. It definitely raises the question of, okay, is this trend going to continue? I mean, we have talked numerous times about Justin getting a part-time job, not necessarily because we're not making enough to live. We're still putting in our retirement every month. We're buying our health insurance. We're paying our bills, but just, when it's slower, just to kind of, build up savings even more, etc. So I don't know where it'll eventually take us. We'll see how things continue, but that option's always on the table. He has no problem getting a part-time job. For me personally, that would be my worst nightmare. He's like, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see how this year goes. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there questioning, is being a full-time reseller as easy as it was over the last few years now? It doesn't seem to be. I mean, everybody's business is different. Everybody sources differently. So yeah, for us, it's something we're just keeping an eye on. We're just going to see how sales continue to go, if, we're going up or we're going down. But yeah, I definitely some days question, okay, is this long-term? Are we going to be able to keep up both being full-time resellers? I guess only time will tell. All right, well, thank you so very much for taking the time to watch the video. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my open bookness. I try to share everything with you guys, the good and the bad. I wish I could have come on here and said, oh, we had like the most amazing month. We're rolling in, all the extra cash, but that wasn't how it was this month, and I don't want to mislead you. So that's pretty much all I got for you. All right, thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.